Hey, welcome back, everyone, to Manny Reads Comics. This time I'm going to be going over Amazing Spider-Man 77. It wasn't too bad. I gave that a 3 out of 5. I think I'm still not over the fact that Peter is gone. He's not gone, but the fact that he's no longer Spider-Man and Ben Riley's taking over. I think it's taking me a little bit longer to deal with that fact and just let it go. And so basically, I'm not I'm not letting Ben get away with anything, honestly. But we'll get into that right now. So basically, 3 out of 5. Not much caught my eye out of it. Black Cat showed up randomly, and I think that's the most surprising thing that I saw in this book. Um, the doctor that's treating Peter, Dr. Burdick, he's a little bit mysterious. The fact that Aunt May isn't liking him, isn't trusting him, like anything. If Aunt May doesn't trust him, I don't trust him. Simple as that. So the fact that she needs to get answers from him, she needs to find him, and he's not being helpful to MJ and Aunt May. It's weird, and I wonder if something's gonna happen there. Um, I do believe, and I'll go into this in detail in a little bit, but I do believe that Aunt May is going to go talk to Dr. Octavius, Otto Octavius, to try to help out Peter. Um, Honestly, I'm looking at future issues and the covers, and Octavius is showing up, and that's the only link that I can see between why Octavius would show up at this point and what Aunt May says in this issue. Um, and then honestly, the Beyond Corporation mystery, like what is their end goal? That hasn't been explained, but it has been really pushed that they have a mission statement and that they are serious about that mission statement. What is it? Who knows? But that's another positive in my end. Still, like I said, so there's 3 out of 5 out of this book. Um, it's not bad. It's not good. Nothing really popped, and nothing really like sucked. But it is what it is. But let's go ahead and start the whole actual review. I'm going to go into detail what happens panel by panel. So stick around. All right, so this issue starts off with Ben training with Misty and Colleen Wing. So we basically find out that they are also employees, I guess, part of the Beyond team. They're helping him find out what his weaknesses are. He's kind of joking around, but at the same time, he's taking it serious. And Colleen is like letting him know, basically, hey, you're a little slow on your right side. It seemed like a throwaway comment, but it does come back later on, which is pretty cool. Then Maxine Danger walks in. This is the first time that we meet her, or at least the first time that I can remember meeting her. And she's kind of the head person in charge of Ben and Maxine I'm sorry, Maxine, Misty and Colleen. But she's basically talking to him, letting him know, like, if you aren't 100% confident in yourself, if you don't believe in what we're doing here, you need to leave. You're wasting your time. Unless you are 100% devoted, you will not be essential to us. So she really wants him to understand that he is Spider-Man now, and he doesn't need to be depending on whoever the other Spider-Man is. He is Spider-Man, especially in legal sense as well. And a lot of things are happening in the background as she's talking. We see like these creatures in bubbles. We see these rabid koalas, sandwiches of doom and stuff. So like a lot of things are happening in the Beyond Corporation. I'm not sure if Beyond Corporation has been touched on in other things. Like, does it have anything to do with the Spider-Man 2099? I don't know. But a lot of things are happening in the background that kind of like interest me, but at the same time, they don't go too into it that I don't really care to follow along that trail. But it's pretty cool. So then after Maxine basically gets Ben in that right headspace, Ben goes into his therapy session with Dr. Kafka, yeah. And then he starts telling her a story about his childhood. As we know, he didn't really have a childhood. He is a clone. He just has those memories that are Peter's memories, but they are also his. It's a little confusing. I never read the clone saga or anything like that, so I mean, I'm not as confused, but I get enough of it basically. Um, but as he's retelling the story, he ends with, "Do you know what my uncle Ben said to me?" and then he can't figure it out what he was going to say. He just forgot the lesson that he was trying to tell Dr. Cackler that he learned, which is a little weird, and it kind of gets written off like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but I think it's going to come back. I think it's going to be a constant issue that with him forgetting maybe his core memories as Peter's memories, and maybe only keeping his actual memories from the day that he got booted up. I don't know how to say that, to now basically, and maybe he'll start forgetting Peter's memories, which would mean maybe he forgets who Peter is. I doubt that, but who knows? I'm just kind of rolling as I go at the moment, but it is kind of just pushed to the side. But I think it is going to be important later on. Then we move back to Peter Parker in the hospital, MJ and Aunt May in general. Aunt May is asking MJ like, "Hey, can they switch doctors because this doctor is not living up to what he's supposed to do? She doesn't really trust him. Um, if they can get like somebody else, and maybe have Tony help or something, because she's got the connections with Tony, or and Tony's part of the Avengers, right? So she's like, yeah, I tried. Tony's not reaching out. He's not getting back to me. Richard Reed, I think they reached out to him as well, but no one's coming back. So she's like, I got this. I'll figure. I know somebody. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I think she's gonna reach out to Otto Octavius to see if he can help out with Peter. Don't know why she would go to him. He is a villain. She knows he's a villain. He's smart, but I mean, I don't know. I that's just my guess, because they just kind of ended it with that. And then as she's leaving to do this, we see Black Cat outside the window of Peter Parker's room. She doesn't go in there or say hi to MJ. It's kind of awkward. Makes sense why she wouldn't say hi, but it's never touched on again. So I think it's the thing that sticks out to me most about this book is the fact that Black Cat shows up. She's probably worried about Peter. She does care about Peter, so it makes sense that she's there. It just doesn't make sense why she's sneaking around. She is a very private person, though, so that kind of makes sense. But I don't know. It's in my head, and it's just there. Then we go back to Ben Riley. He goes home to Janine. She's cooking. She's kind of like, they're having playful banter back and forth, saying like this is a much prettier prison than her old one. And the conversation starts to get serious, but then Ben gets called away. He has to go to work, which is the difference between right now Peter and Ben. Like, Ben doesn't really have to keep up with like police scanners. He knows when something's wrong because of the Beyond Corporation. There's so much tech there. He can be there faster than Peter. He can know things that are happening before Peter would ever have known. So he is more efficient technically. But he leaves, and one of the things that I noticed is he had a really big door, the portal, which is it's just weird. It's just weird seeing that he has like a portal to leave his house, right? Instead of like Peter Parker just like, oh, I gotta go, and he takes the window and just swings out, right? So, but that was cool. He goes to and he encounters Morbius, and the last that we saw Morbius is that he's fine. He is a good guy. He's not trying to be a villain. But this Morbius that he sees, it's a rabid one. He's tries to talk it out with him, and he's just yelling and just screaming. There are no words there, and he just starts going on a rampage. We see there are what's it called? Victims, I guess. I think they all had lab coats on. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have a picture up here soon, but pretty sure they have lab coats on. But they're all victims of his, and so the fight starts going back and forth. Ben tries to make some jokes, but eventually he gets caught by Morbius. Even though he has spider sense and all this extra tech, Morbius sneaks up behind him and gets that nice little cliche venom bite, and he bites into his neck, and that's how it ends. So again, like nothing crazy stood out. I personally don't care about Morbius, so seeing him wasn't like, oh, Morbius is here. It's just, oh, Morbius is the next villain that he's gonna take care of, which is fine. So for me, 3 out of 5. It's a good book. I am gonna give it more of a chance. Again, I prefer Peter over Ben, So reading through Ben hasn't been horrible, but it's just like, man, I wish Peter would get better already so I can get some amazing Spider-Man stories and not this guy. But no, it's a good book, and I'm excited to see where it goes, because I know Peter's going to come back eventually. And there's the whole Savage Spider-Man coming out title that's going to come out, so I'll get it from there. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Of course, make sure to like this video if you liked it. If you didn't, make sure you tell me why in the comments. Check out my Instagram page for other reviews. I do quick reviews for TikTok, Instagram, and I'm going to start doing them here on YouTube as well. So check them out. Make sure you go. Everything is going to be Manny Reads Comics on the account. So check them out. Put a little like there and let me know what you guys think. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.